Welcome to this counseling session on facing CS examination with confidence. Before I begin with the subject proper, let me first introduce myself to you, because it is only when I introduce myself to you, you will know whether I am competent enough to speak on this subject and whether whatever I am suggesting will be really useful to you. I am Suresh Thakur Desai. I have been oral coaching faculty member to the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and I served there for more than 28 years, and only I left teaching. I gave up only when I became the chairman of the Western India Regional Council, because I thought that there should not be any conflict of interest between the administrative position and the teaching position. But even then, thereafterwards, I have always kept the contact with the profession and with the students in particular. I have been writing various articles and books. For your kind information, I have got 45 years of experience as a company secretary, and I have written 18 books on various subjects of interest to the company secretaries. I have also written 1800 articles on various economic and industrial subjects concerning the company secretaries, which have been published in magazines like Chartered Secretary, the focus of the WIRC, of the ICSI. I write a regular column on Window on Financial Developments in Chemical Industries in a magazine called Chemical Business, which is selected for Encyclopedia Britannica Online. So this is my brief background. Apart from this, I must tell you that I am also connected with the examination system as a paper sitter, as the examiner, but I am sure that whatever I am telling you is based fully on facts, and I hope by the end of this session I am in a position to remove all your wanton fears and also reduce your dependence on the memory, and I should give you some practical hints to ensure that whatever answers you write are not quantitative but qualitative answer what is expected in a professional exam. With this subject we begin. Now, first of all, we have to remember that whenever we appear for any examination, we must appear for the examination with full confidence. Any amount of diffidence, that creates a problem. Most of the time I have seen as an observer at the institute's examinations and also in the university examinations, the students enter the examination hall as if they are entering a slaughterhouse, and with the result, because of the lack of confidence, they get butchered unnecessarily. That should not happen. It is always important that we must approach with confidence. Can you ride a bicycle if you have no confidence? No, you will certainly fall down. Any vehicle you cannot drive unless you are confident. And therefore, we have to remember that we should not get unnecessarily bogged up at the time of writing any answer books for any exam and for the CS exams in particular. And for this, what is important is that we must believe in ourselves. Before the exam, prepare for all the subjects. I'm going to give you the hints how to prepare, and I'm sure if you do that, your confidence level will increase, and you must believe that whatever is needed to be done by a student, you have done it before you entered the hall, and once you face the examination with that amount of confidence, you will be able to recall whatever you have studied with absolute ease, without any kind of diffidence. Sometimes people say that the auto-suggestion is helpful. Let me explain to you what this word auto-suggestion means. When you sleep, just put a tick like this on your ear. I show it to you again. You do like this and remind yourself that whatever was necessary before the examination, I have done, and I'm sure I will pass this examination. And then afterwards you go to sleep and forget about everything else. Next day when you get up, you will find slowly your confidence improves. One of the ways by which you can reduce your burden and increase your confidence is to form the study groups. What a study group means: 4 or 5 students, it should not be a bigger group than that, should form a group and decide in advance what subjects each one of you will prepare and have a group discussion. In the process, you will be able to reduce the time lag and you will be able to cover more topics. And usual experience is that if you discuss with your friends and they point out some improvements, you improve. The person who is giving the suggestion also gets benefited, and as a result, entire group comes out the best. I am not mentioning this to you without trying this kind of a method. When I appeared for the CS examination, we were 3 people who had formed a group, and we used to discuss what is lacking in each other's answer and what way improvement could be done. As a result, all the 3 of us passed in the first attempt without any outside help of any coaching class or anything. Please remember that whenever you discuss with the students who are sincere, you will remember that much more than you are just trying to read it yourself and you are not sure what you have remembered is correct or not. Somebody else points out that something needs to be bridged up. That is important. And that happens only when you have friends. So therefore my suggestion would be to have a small group of students. It should not be like a Yahoo group. I wonder what kind of discussion takes place. Will anybody give me the answer for this? So the answer is supplied by some person and then copy pasting is done. Please remember this CBS technology: Control C, Control V, Control S, and your document is ready, is not good. You don't understand anything, you don't learn anything, and therefore never follow that kind of methodology. I just mentioned Yahoo group, nothing against any particular group as such, but we should avoid this kind of copy-paste technology. That is what I wanted to mention. One should prepare his own notes. You will all think in your mind, what is this, sir, you are telling me? that prepare your own notes. Here we are fighting for time. The syllabus is too large. The reading material is so much. In addition to that, we have to keep ourselves abreast of the latest changes. We hardly find any time, and you are asking us to write our own notes. I am conscious of this, but please note that if you read anything 3-4 times, and if you write anything once, what you write once, you will remember much more than reading it again and again. And therefore, you are in a position to save the time. I am also making this suggestion of writing your own notes for another reason. When you write your own note, you know whether you have understood what you have read. Just going through a particular sentence or a paragraph does not make us understand the things. Whether we have understood, if we are in a position to write it in our own words, we know that we have understood. So that is one thing that happens. Secondly, please remember that when you appear for the exam, you would like to brush up your knowledge. If you have your own notes, then even cursory glance will help you to recall whatever you have studied much better. One more point in favor of preparing one's own notes. Please note that as per the present examination system, we have to write the answers. And when we write the answers, unless we have the practice of writing, our handwriting is not consistent. Most of the time, I have seen this problem with the students, that they know the subject, but there is no hand and thought coordination. The thoughts run faster, the hand moves slowly. Now this hand and mind coordination is very, very important, and that will automatically come if you develop this habit of writing your own notes. It will help increase your stamina to write the papers. Please remember, once the CS exam starts, there are no gaps in between as it happens in other university exams, and therefore maintaining this writing stamina is very, very important. So from that point of view also, you will have to write your own notes. Now, let me talk to you about how to manage the time before you start preparing. First thing is, begin right earnest. Never postpone your decision. No, I will start after 5 days, 6 days, like that. It is like a dentist visit. Once you postpone, it is postponed forever. So begin right earnest, because to that extent you will be able to complete reading of the syllabus. So you must begin without waiting for any particular event to happen or particular omen to start a new thing. It is said in Sanskrit, Shubhatsya Shigram. Any good thing must begin immediately. So begin right earnest. You have taken the decision to appear for the exam. I wish you all the best, and I am sure if you start right earnest, nobody can stop you from achieving that goal of passing this examination without having to have any second action replay or second innings to play. Okay. Now, as I said, you'll have to start preparing your own notes. prepare different files for different subjects. Why I am suggesting files? Because if you open the files and start writing your own notes, any additional notes putting in there becomes easier. So therefore, you, instead of a notebook, you open the files for each subject, write your own notes. Now let me tell you what to read for that purpose. First of all, you must carefully read all the modules right from the beginning to the end. There is no substitute for that. The modules have been prepared with a great care to ensure that whatever you need to know about the subject is included, and therefore if you read these modules carefully, that will help you to understand the subject. Should you read anything more? My suggestion is, if possible, you can read anything, but in view of the fact that most of us do not have sufficient time, I am suggesting restrict yourself to reading the module. Thereafterwards, you can go through the suggested answers which are made available to you by the institute. You can also refer to the guideline answers which are published by the institute for the previous question papers set at the CS examinations. That will give you some guideline as to what should be the length of the answer. But please remember one thing, that ultimately we have to write the answer within the time limit of 3 hours, and therefore if you prepare your own notes, that is going to be helpful. I am harping on the same thing and again because there is no other substitute for that. In Gurukul, we are trying to help you by giving you the latest update on various subjects, by giving the latest changes through the blocks. Various experts will be giving you and carving out the latest information about the changes. Although I know when you write the examination paper, the examiner will not ask you what, based on the changes that have taken place earlier than 6 months before the exam. Yet, if you know the latest happenings, your answer will be of a better quality, and the way the blogs are written, you will find how to write very briefly, and perhaps that could also be another purpose that will be served. So please make use of those blogs. If you want to make any suggestions to us for improving those blogs, please do that. Please do that. We are here to serve you. We are here to help you. And we want to see that the object is really achieved. In addition, you get a bi-monthly publication from the institute called a Student Secretary. Try to read that, because there also the academic guidance is given on the various subjects where some changes take place. Having said that, now let me tell you how you can avoid the stress. First thing is, do not try to learn any sections of the various acts by heart. If you try to learn by heart various sections, I am sure very soon you will lose your heart on the subject itself, and perhaps you will be sleepless. I don't want that to happen with you. Don't try to learn by heart. There was recently a movie which came out. What was that movie? Which most of you must have seen it. That Chatura Ramalingam tried to remember by heart rather than understanding, and as a result, what kind of a precarious position he created to himself. And this is what we learn from Three Idiots. Don't be one more idiot and do not try to learn by heart. If you understand the section, that is what is required. You are not expected to write the same language of the section. And to that extent, you will appreciate that I have reduced your burden of trying to memorize the sections. There are too many sections, too many laws in the syllabus. So by this you will be able to avoid unnecessary strain. Second thing which I want to tell you is that you don't have to remember the section and subsection numbers. If you know your section number, write the correct one. But if you don't write, nobody will deduct any marks, because we who are examining the papers, we know that the students are writing the papers in examination conditions, and we are not expecting them to remember the section numbers, because anyway, when you take up the job as a company secretary or you start as a practicing company secretary, all the books are available to you, and therefore you are not expected to remember all the section numbers. So therefore, do not try to memorize the section, subsection numbers. Few important sections of each subject, if you just remember and write those numbers only, that would do, and that should really reduce lot of your burden of trying to remember the section numbers. One more thing with which I have seen the students burden themselves is writing the year of acts. The Companies Act of 2013. Not necessary. The moment you say Companies Act, that is enough. So do not try to remember the big title of the law and the year of the act. Number of times we also give the case law. Whenever you refer to the books, you will find that so and so versus so and so, page number so and so, AIR, Supreme Court so and so, all such details are given. You are not expected, I repeat, you are not expected to remember all this and reproduce that in your examination. If you just say that in a case it was decided like this, that is enough. You are not expected to remember all the case titles, references, etc. You will thus see that by telling you, giving you one more hint, I have reduced your burden of reading and trying to memorize the things. In the examination hall, I have seen this happening, and that is why I repeat it. Students try to look at others. I don't say that they are trying to copy others, but if somebody is writing with a greater speed and perhaps has already taken more supplements, they start becoming nervous. Now please note that whatever he is writing with his own speed. Your speed is yours, and by unnecessarily looking at it, you are burdening your mind for nothing. So avoid this. If you keep on writing your own notes, you will develop speed, you will be able to write in exact words, and that will be more helpful to you. Now let me give you some hints for developing the habit of writing crisp answers. First of all, you must try to ensure that the marks allocated are on the question paper is the indication of what is the length of the answer which is expected. And therefore, even if you know on a subject so many things, should you write that? You should not. For the simple reason, if the maximum marks for a particular question are 15, whatever best you write, the examiner cannot give you more than the maximum marks allowed. So why waste the time? So that is why we have to develop this habit of writing to the point and crisp answers. And that will come only if you go on practicing. My experience is students keep on reading. Some of them prepare their own notes also. But they do not practice writing the answers. And in the end, they go on complaining that the paper was too long, they could not finish. Please remember, it's a question of practice. And the best way of practicing, which I have done when I appeared for this CS examination, perhaps for every examination, whatever I have appeared, I have practiced that. Take up the previous question papers, write the answers under examination conditions, that means without referring to any book, and try to ensure that you complete that question paper within 3 hours. I used to do that by keeping a buzzer clock near me, and the buzzer will tell me to stop after the 3 hours are over, and I would withdraw my paper myself. Then I used to examine my paper myself, comparing it with the study material and other books, and that helped me to develop the habit of writing the crisp answers. It would also help you in having a very logical flow of points. It should not be a slipshod answer. You remember one point, you write something, then you write some other point, then go back to the first one. This not only results in the wastage of time, but your answer looks very ugly. Now let me tell you something about style of writing practical questions. You will find that the professional examinations, like the CS, there are emphasis is more on practical questions. Let me tell you how to write the answers for the law-based papers. The position is like this: read the question completely, analyze the facts, find out who is the plaintiff. Who is the plaintiff? Plaintiff is the person who has made an application to the court or asked for some relief. Then find out who is the defendant, against whom the relief is asked for is a defendant. Then find out what are their claims. What is claimed by the plaintiff against the defendant? What is the defendant's reply in response to the claim of the plaintiff? What is the defenses taken by him? All these facts are available on the question paper itself. You have to read it analytically. So you will know what are their counter claims from this. Thereafterwards, from that you will know which is the law applicable. So you say that the applicable law is this, and then based on your analysis, you give the decision with reasoning. Say that I am holding in favor of the plaintiff or the defendant, as the case may be, or if you want to say instead of plaintiff and defendant, using the very name of the plaintiff or of the defendant in their favor or against them, and give your reasoning. If you write like this, I am sure the examiner will be convinced that you have understood the law, you know how to analyze it, you know how to apply it, and he will give you the full marks, because what we are interested in trying to find out in these papers is whether you can apply the law or not, because that is the strength of a practicing professional, that he should be able to apply the law to the factual situation when it demands. Let me give you some guidelines about choosing the questions. Number of times the students complain that the time was not sufficient, and some of them go on writing answers for more questions which are to be written in a particular section of any paper. So if you write answers for more questions, the examiner will examine all, will try to award you the best possible marks from those questions, but in the process you will lose the quality of the answers, and therefore I would not advise you to do that. If you write the exact number of questions, whatever is in part A or part B or part C, go through the instructions on the top of the paper. Sometimes the instructions are contained separately in each part. We must read them carefully. My experience as examiner shows that students appear to forget this, and then last minute they notice that a particular question was compulsory, and then they start attempting that. As a result, in the process, they lose much of the time and consistency of writing. They lose the time and consistency of answers. Write question number and sub-question number correctly. Although you might feel that what I am talking to you are very common instructions, but my experience as an examiner shows that many of the times students do not write the question number and sub-question number correctly. It irritates the examiner, and if you irritate the examiner whom you are submitting your paper, you will know what happens and what it means. Don't try to irritate the examiner, because already he is under a lot of stress. He has to also complete within a short time. The best way would be to begin a new question on a different page and ensure that you do not mix it up. Now let me give you some tips how to behave in the examination hall. First thing is, reach the examination center much before the time. My experience is, particularly I have seen it happening in cities like Mumbai, that the distance is so much, people get delayed somewhere, last minute they appear to the examination hall, the examination is there on the 4th or 5th floor, lift is not available, students are not allowed to use the lift, the students come rushing through, jumping up the staircase, and as a result, they become breathless. And that is not surely a good way to begin the paper. So reach much before the time, be conveniently sitting, because that only will help you to write. Please note that in your class, mobiles cannot be used. So if you are having a mobile, put it in a silent mode and keep it outside the examination hall or wherever the supervisor says use of mobiles in the hall is totally banned. You can use the calculators, but not those sophisticated calculators. Read the instructions carefully before you take a particular type of calculator in the examination hall. Write the seat number correctly. Carry your identity card and carry the hall tickets. Fortunately, it is available to you online also. If you can take out a printout and take it with you, but I have seen this happening, that students do not bring some of these things, and as a result the examiner asks them to prepare some form. As a result, you lose much of the time. So best way is to carry the hall tickets. Before you enter the examination hall, you ensure that nothing is missed. Avoid excess drinking of water. Because of the examination conditions, you feel like having a water, have a little quantity, don't take more of the water. Now let me tell you something about the language and handwriting. First point to be noted is that the best possible language is the simple language. If you write in simple language, when you are preparing your notes, you will be able to write the answers in the simple language, and your memory recall is much better. If you try to remember the complex or compound or complicated language, then you may get confused and the logical answer becomes illogical. Number of times the students ask me the questions and they say, "Sir, is it true that we must have a very good handwriting?" Kindly note that what is expected is that your handwriting should be legible, that you should be able to read and someone else who is reading it, because the examiner will be reading it, is in a position to read with ease. That is what is required, nothing beyond that. So don't bother much more than that. But your handwriting will become legible provided you practice, and that's why, as I mentioned, you start preparing your own notes. You will develop the habit of writing consistently throughout the examination time of 3 hours. You will be able to write throughout the examination time of 3 hours and consistently all through the particular session. Now, let me give you some general tips while you are preparing for the exam. It is very important that we must sit properly. I am not trying to teach you yoga. I am not asking you to sit in a particular yogasana, but your posture of sitting should be such that you should be very, very comfortable. Develop that habit. Don't lie down and read, because that way you will not be able to have consistency and stamina. So have a proper posture of sitting I have seen some of the students walking across the garden and trying to read. That doesn't help. You tire yourself, you don't read, so don't do that. Secondly, let me tell you about the food habits. Take very simple and healthy food. Avoid anything which is tasty, because please remember, anything which entices the taste buds is likely to be harmful, and if your stomach is upset, then naturally your entire exam schedule will get upset. So therefore you must resort to very simple and healthy food and avoid unnecessary trying to satisfy the taste buds that you can do after your examination results are announced. It is also necessary that we must go on consuming adequate quantity of water at different intervals throughout the day, so that our brain cells get recharged, and that is necessary. Use some water for putting it on your face and freshen up yourself. Your strain in your eyes will go away. If you want, you can use light instrumental music when you are reading, but never study in front of the TV or when something like a commentary is going on. I would also advise you to keep distance from the mobile, internet, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. Please remember that these are good pastime, but good social media, but not for the students. You will be wasting a lot of your time, so keep them away from you. You can use it after your study time is over. Let me also give you one very important hint. Never sit in front of a mirror. Why? Because particularly when you are reading any subject which you think is difficult for you, unnecessarily the mirror will reflect the fear that you have, and you will start getting worried more and more. So therefore, never sit in front of a mirror and read, particularly the difficult subjects. There should not be any sleep deficiency. I have seen students trying to burn midnight oil lamps, and they do not take sufficient sleep. As a result, there is a lot of heat that is generated in the head, in forehead particular. Avoid that. You must have a minimum sleep of 6 to 7 hours. You can, those of you practice Shavasana, that would be best. As I said sometime before, go on sprinkling the water on your face. You will feel better. That will ease up the matters. Breathing exercises like deep breathing, consistent breathing are also advisable. Do it with the help of some real good practitioner and not just try to do something because somebody else is doing. With that, whatever general hints I wanted to give you are over. I want you to keep contact with me whenever you have difficulty on any subject. Please do email to us. We will give you the advice of what to do. I trust this session was useful for you. If you think it has helped, then please like, comment and share this with your friends who will also benefit from this. We will come up with more such sessions that will help you for your exam preparation. Wish you all the best. Thank you.